good afternoon, good morning, good evening, depending on where you are. It's so lovely to have you with us this Sunday. If you have just tuned in, it is the 6th of June already. Where's the year gone? And it is the wonderful Softer Side Show. You've got myself with you today. My name's Becky, lush to see you. And we have got the wonderful Bernie with us as well. Today is a big day. Not only have we got a product that only launched 14 days ago, I'll show you that more later, but I have got some brand new fabrics for you, and they are so on trend right now. They're going to create some wonderfully chic elements with these. How on earth are you, lovely Bernie?
How are you, Becky? Now, what's happening? 3 weeks running, me and you, we're on a record here, aren't we?
I know, I love it. I love it.
I've come prepared, so I've got my lunch bag, which is what I'm going to be making. One of the things I'm going to be making in the show today,
so cute,
from the pattern packs with that gorgeous fabric. I've got my bottle bag. So I've got my drinks bag here. So this is perfect.
I love
Absolutely
this.
Perfect for this time of year. You know, when we can't, obviously the weather's been, even for us in the northeast of England, has been glorious. Yeah. So, you know, you need your bottle bag there. We've got our sewing organisers as well, templates. We've got, like you say, we've got the shape creator. So I've got this lovely mat here to show you as well, made of the shape creator. We've got so much on. Our producer Georgina said I won't get everything in the show, but I'm determined to get through all my demos that I've got planned. I'm on a mission, Becky.
I have total faith in you, I really do. I want to show you this fabric. I adored it so much I had to put it on my Instagram stories before. It is stunning. These are one by one, and just in case you are brand new, let me just let you know all of the info here at the bottom of your screen as to how you can order with us. These are ½ metre sets that we bring to you, but if you buy, say, a metre's worth, or you buy 2 ½ meters, it will come as a full 1 metre, okay? So for those bigger pieces, those dresses, etc., you'll be able to make with. The quality of this is sensational. This is your clouds design. All of the info is currently on your screen. It's only £7.49, and that is for the ½ metre. For the quality of this, it's sensational. So that's your first one. I've also got, this is low stock opportunity already. It's been one of our most popular, and I have to get this one out for you because it is one of my absolute favourites. With this fabric, what we've done is created an ombre effect. So that means that when you purchase this, and just to give you an idea of how much you're getting, I will unfurl it all. But here is going to be the ½ metre that you're getting. And can you see, in fact, I might be able to show you this quite skillfully. Can you see how you've got the cloud design at the top, and then how you're getting this lovely, you've got the flowers now coming in, you see the detail patterns now, you're getting the ombre colouring of it. Isn't this a special, special one? That is available for you again, and it is another brand new. It's amazing, the quality. I have to say, if you're like me and you're a tactile person, I'm the type of person who walks around shops and, you know, touches all the clothes, then you're going to love this fabric. That is a limited stock element, as is the borders is now officially limited stock. I've got your sky pattern now, and this one is also limited. What I love with this is you get that sort of murmuration of those birds sweeping around. You know, sometimes when you see a murmuration in the sky, you see sort of swallows, you know, sort of gathering together, and they plume in and out of each other. That's what this is. Real nice movable piece. Again, ½ metre. It's limited stock though, this one, so do seize the moment on that. This one's really distinctive, and I do appreciate this one. I've got 50% of the stock already gone on pre-sales. So you have still got a chance on this one. This one isn't as limited, but I don't understand why, because I would be buying this in the shed load. Imagine this in cushions, even outdoor cushions. How great would it be? You've got these wonderful peach hues in here. You've got your olives in this as well. Beautiful design there, and really good if you did want to fussy cut these out, because they're quite bold pieces. That'd be quite easy to do. So that one is your tree collection there. As well as that, now this one is another limited one, and this is no surprise. This is extremely limited. Looks like it's going to be the first to go, actually. This is the hills. Now for me, this is unisex. This is perfect for anyone who loves the wanderlust. You can see that these are kind of hill-esque, but they're very abstract, aren't they? I'm going to pull this out a little bit more for you just to get a real good look at that. I love the textures in this, the details. It is a beauty. It really, truly is. So again, this is extremely limited, probably the first to go. So if you do have this in your basket, I would check it out sooner rather than later. Let me bring you another one, and these ones are your leaves. Are you a fan or ever inspired by the great outdoors? Yeah, me too. This has definitely got that feel to it. I really like this one because for me, it's got enough of a random detail to it that if you are quite new, it would still look good and you wouldn't have to pattern match it. There are some designs like stripes, for example, that are quite hard if you are new because you really want to get those lines nice and equal and even. With this, it's got enough randomness to it that we wouldn't have to pattern match and it would still look fantastic. That's a beauty as well, going really nicely with the trees, if you ask me. So I've got another one for you now. This is our penultimate. And this one, half of my stock has gone on this one as well. This one I'm bringing to you are your lines. So this one, if you love your pattern matching, could be quite a fun one to have a go at. Maybe a little bit more advanced, but not necessarily. The hues in this one are beautiful because you've got more of the earth tones. So I've got some of your Serenity colours. Serenity is the colour of summer this year in 2020, and it's this kind of hue here. I love how we've juxtaposed that with the mustard hues. It goes really well. And speaking of mustard hues, I don't see how anyone couldn't love this. It's one of those kind of unassuming, workable fabrics that will just go with everything. It's your dandelions. This for me is a design that, as you may or may not know, I do love sewing. I'm still quite new to it, but I do love sewing and I've done it for a little bit of time. For me, I'm seeing this, the sort of seamstress part of my brain's going, oh, I've got ideas for that. But also the part of my brain that is the paper crafter is going, I could easily cut these out and actually put them on mixed media pieces. Could look fabulous. Really workable and versatile. That is your dandelion. So those are the ones that we have got for you today. That has now just gone down to half stock, that one. So it's definitely worth seizing the moment. If you do want to grab these, now is definitely your chance. And if you're thinking, okay, Bex, maybe it's the first time I tune in to softer side, I do a little bit of sewing, or maybe you're a paper crafter, you're thinking, how can I get some demos in the bag with my paper crafting skills? Well, I have a feeling that this wonderful bit of kit would definitely help you in both ways, especially if you are a paper crafter. You may well have seen things a little bit like this for papercraft. It gives you a professional look and finish every single time, and this is exactly what the wonderful Bernie is going to show us first. It's fab, this, isn't it, Bernie?
It's brilliant. And like you said, Becky, we only launched this a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, 2 weeks.
But I loved it so much. When we get input for what we're going to have on the shows, this was one of the things I said that would be great to have that back on, because it's so useful and you can do so much with it. And I'm going to show you a few things that you can do. Basically, if anyone's not seen this before, it's acrylic. It's quite wobbly, so you're going to think, oh, that looks a bit flimsy. It's not. It's wobbly on purpose, because if this was rigid, you could probably snap it. If it was rigid, we test and test and test, so you're getting the best quality product. So this is what's happened with it. And then all these here, you've got grooves. So if I've got a piece of card here, I'm just going to pop it through, just so you can see there that it's a very thin groove in there, and that's enough for you to put your rotary blade in. Perfect. So that's going to fit through for you to cut. Now, this is ideal for a lot of different people, because it can cut so many shapes. Also, as well, if you're unsteady when you're cutting, so if you're used to cutting with a ruler and you find that you slip, so this is great for that, because what's going to happen is your blade is going to sit in there and it's not going to move anywhere. You can't wobble. Yeah. So you can only cut a straight line, because that's what it's allowing you to do. You've got the grid system on here, you've got angles on here, so we can cut triangles and diamonds and hexagons on here as well. The best thing that I love on here is the corners. So we can see that the corners are rounded. So this one's quite rounded. If we look at this one here, it's a lot smaller. And then the bottom two, we can see they're different sizes as well. So what has happened here is each corner has been rounded to make a circle. So this is, you're going from a 1 inch, so this little diddy one up here is a 1, and then we've got a 2 inch, 3 inch, and then up at the top here we've got a 4 inch circle. So that's a quarter shape. You're going to fold your fabric to cut, so I'm going to show you how to do that shortly. I just want to quickly show you these 2 samples of extremes of what you can do with that shape. We've got here big squares on this quilt and half square triangles as well. We've then got the binding. We've cut all of the binding. We can actually cut the backing with this as well, because you can fold your fabric up. And then, you know, I was mentioning circles.
Oh, it just looks fab.
Absolutely stunning. So these here are all the different sizes of circles. You've got your 1 and your 2, your 3 and your 4 inch circles, and then put on here like it's very abstract, isn't it? A bubble effect.
Yeah.
And then, oh, is it, I think who's made this one? Let me give them a call out. Diane Fisher. So Diane Fisher in our team has made this, and then she's used our circle quilt and pattern guides. You can just see where she's done the quilting with that pattern guide as well. So it pulls it all in together. This is absolutely fantastic. So shall we do a little bit of cutting, Becky?
Yes, please.
Let's have a look. Now, fabric.
The dandelion, I love that one.
This is beautiful. It is absolutely beautiful. I never thought actually, I should have I did some hoop, everyone knows I think now, if you haven't watched before, I love doing hoop art.
Yeah.
And I did a hoop with a design in that I just sketched out myself with some leaves and some little flowers and the dandelion heads, because I love it. And I did a little bit of free motion stitching with it, and then I did it as a class as well actually. So if any of the ladies who come to my class then, if you've got any photos of yours, send them in.
Definitely.
Love seeing photos. Love seeing photos. Right, so here, so this is your ½ metre of fabric. So this is what you're going to get if you order 1 unit. And then what I've done is I've folded it so it's selvage to selvage. So your selvage is sort of like your little fluffy bit at the end, and it's got the little sort of needle holes in there where it's been on the machine when it was made.
Yeah.
And then what I do is I'll then fold it over again. So what you want to do is get that fold lined up with the just under the selvage. So if I move it down, you can see I've just lined it up under there, and I know now that that's going to be straight for when I cut it. Now, the first thing people often think about with the Shape Creator is to cut strips. And handily, all the way down here, you can see lots of text, and this is telling you how to cut your fabric strips, your squares, your bar strips, your circles, your triangles, your diamonds, your hexagons. If you're again unsure, on the back of the packaging, again, we give you in the diagrams as well. I'm a very visual learner, so I like to be able to see it. So you're getting all of those stages on the back of the packaging with the pictures as well, and you can actually go on to previous shows and our YouTube page as well, where I've done lots of demos, and Lizzie's done demos with it as well, so you can see how you do it. Because I've got this grid line system on here, I need a straight line to match up. If I move it up a little bit, you'll be able to see. There we go. So I'm just going to line up one of these vertical lines with the fold of my fabric. Now I'm not lining it up with the selvage, because that selvage could be a little bit wibbly wobbly, but I know this fold is perfectly straight. And then I've got a grid here that starts at 0. So the other thing what this is going to do is it's going to help you cut those. So when you first start cutting fabric, you want to neaten up the edge. Now if you do that with a ruler, which is what I do regularly, what you're going to do is you're going to neaten it up, use the rotary cutter through there, and then essentially you would then move something. You'd either move the ruler or the fabric. With this, and then your chance you might misalign it because you've got it folded. With this, you don't move anything apart from yourself. You just move yourself along a little bit, like this. I'm going to cut a 2.5 inch strip, so I'm going along to the groove. Up there, I've got the 45mm here. I'm just going to go in with the 28mm. Let's cut at 5 inches.
So with not having to move anything, I suppose that means that you're more likely to get it right, and in a way it's kind of safer as well.
Yes. So if you then take it off, and we can see now we've got, there's our scrap. And we've got our 2 strips there that are already cut. Now, what I want to do is, what I should have done was iron my fabric, because you can see I've got a little bit of a fold in there. So all I do is just smooth it back out with that. I'm going to line it back up, and I've also got the 60mm rotary cutter, because I know we often get asked that question, will the 60mm work with it as well? So I've got the 60mm. Let's cut another 2.5-inch strip. There we go. So that's the 60mm as well. So all of your rotary cutters and all the ones that we sell, it will cut those.
That's great.
With those blades as well. So then you're going to start to subcut. So I'll just quickly do a couple just so you can see. So I've got my strips here, and I usually cut about 4 to 6 layers under here. If you're starting out and you're new, then you might only start with 1 or 2 layers until you build up your confidence. But to be honest, because you've got those grooves in there, that's going to help your confidence grow. So if you're then going to subcut, again, I've lined it up with one of them lines, put my cutter in there, and I did 2.5-inch strips. So I'm just cutting up 2.5-inch intervals. So then I've cut myself a load of squares. So if you had to sit with a ruler, and if you were cutting all those individually, it's going to take you a lot longer. But again, because I haven't shifted that at all, the only thing that I was moving was just myself, just along.
Yeah.
As you were cutting it.
That's brilliant.
So yeah, so it's really good. And then I'm just going to quickly do a circle as well, because that's going to be my favourite one out of this. So let me get one of those squares and let's cut a 2-inch circle. Now the thing with this as well is you can turn it over and do it from the other side. So if you find that whichever one you is, if you're left or right-handed, if it makes it easier to cut from that side, you can flip it over the other side, and you can cut up the side of this as well. So if you were, say you had a bottom of a bag that you wanted to round the corners off, let me just put that on there. So say that's the bottom of my bag, I'd line up this edge, and then if I cut round...
you're getting the nice curved edges. Oh, that's clever.
You're getting your rounded corner as well.
That's brilliant.
Yeah, and then to do the circles, I want to do the 2. Let's do the 2-inch circle. I'm going to get my piece of fabric. This is great for scraps, using your scraps up. And then fold it over once, fold it over again, and then the piece with the 2 corners is going to go under there and just line it up with those lines that are on the shape creator. And then with the curves, I would use your 28. Just go around. There we go. And then we've got our perfect circle. And if you've got the other square, that's your waist, if you like, but it isn't, because that's like a negative of it, isn't it?
Yeah.
So you've got your positive and your negative.
That's brilliant. It's such a great feature. It
is. You can cut big pieces, you can cut little tiny pieces like this. I mean, 1-inch circles. I mean, you know, you're going to be cutting that small, you've got the tool to do it right the way up to your big strips of fabric, your backing. I mean, you can cut your binding in a couple of minutes here for a quilt.
It's brilliant.
You know, it's really good. So yeah, so that's the shape creator. So I say I wanted this is a junior one. I wanted to bring it back because I use them quite a lot at home, this one and the Big Daddy one as well. But I think this one's a good size for people putting in the bags if they move and travel and going, because you can start going to other households now, so you can go crafting with your friends. So it's perfect to take with you.
I just think that is a fabulous bit of kit, and great if you are new, because if you are new, things like cutting perfect circles is tricky if you're doing it by hand. That makes it really wonderful. Thank you so much for showing us that. More from Bernie shortly, but if you are looking at evolving this wonderful medium, then I have got some pattern packs for you. Again, for anyone who is brand new, when we're talking about patterns, we're talking about guides that are really easy to follow. You get all of the instruction manuals almost. Is what you have here. You can use them multiple times. I have to say, the first thing that I looked at when I got these out earlier is the quality of the actual pattern. I myself have worked with lots of different patterns, and sometimes the pattern paper is really flimsy. It means that it feels like if you use it once and you don't pack it away perfectly, then it might be unworkable. This is really good quality, and I know that sounds like a minor thing, but if you have done sewing before, you'll know that's a really big deal. So yeah, these are your instructions. What I'm bringing to you here is the two of them. Now, you're not picking which one you want, you're gonna get the both of them. So you've got your lunch on the go, and you've got the weekend bag as well. And with this one, which is lunch on the go, obviously you have your bottle bag there too. Perfect for picnics, perfect for kids going back to school, perfect for if you are, you know, having a little walk along the beach. I really like the idea of this as something that you maybe, you know, always have in the back of your car, just in case something happens, you know, you break down, you know that you've got some water and crisps or whatever. All of those, loads of uses for that one. This one is the weekend bag, and it's a really wonderful design, and we'll take a little look at these more in detail shortly. But for now, let me tell you, it's only £16.98 today, and that is for both of them, which is truly very, very special. As a lot of you again will know, patterns can cost, you know, sort of £15 each very easily. So that's a great deal that you're getting there. Big saving, 15% off. We've not just got that on the show though. Well, no, we've got loads more, including your essential tool collection. And I'll be honest with you, it kind of does what it says on the tin. You're going to get your mitre tool in here, which I know is one of our absolute favourite tools. You're getting your binding tool in this, and you're getting 50 of those tickets as well. So that means that you can clip these on, and again, it really helps you out. If you are brand new or you're thinking of getting someone into sewing, this is a great kind of all-fitting kit if you want that one. If you're into cutting, and you're going to need a folding mat, and that is what we have here. This comes with your rotary cutter. It's the 28mm we saw Bernie use earlier on with the junior shape cutter, which it, as we've said, does work with. You're also getting the extra blades there, and then this one is the A2 folding mat, so it actually folds out to A2 when you fold it together. It's obviously half of that. If you want it with the larger rotary cutter, this is the 45mm one here, so you absolutely can grab that as well. Just think a little bit about which one might be best for you size-wise. This one is a saving of £13 or $14.98. So do feel free to seize the moment on that, because once you get these tools, that means that you're going to be able to make wonderful designs like this. So get the tools and get the patterns, and now let's go and get the inspiration. I'm with you on these patterns, Bernie.
They're brilliant, aren't they?
Yeah.
They're so handy to have as well, because you're getting everything in there, and you're just going to add your fabric and your wadding or your interface and whatever you decide to use. So the lunch on the go one was the two of those what I was showing you at the beginning of the show. So you've got this bottle bag, which is absolutely fantastic. You've got that little drawstring on the top. We've done here this all one colour, but you could do two-tone. You could do use the insulating wadding as well, so you can keep it cool or warm as well. So you can mix and match with there, and you've got a little bit of hardware on there as well. So great absolutely beginner projects as well, or quick projects if you just want to do something straightforward. Then we've got this cute little lunch bag, but it doesn't have to be for your lunch. Again, you can put insulating wadding in there as well. Thicker wadding, you could use a foam wadding, so it would make it more rigid as well. So you've got lots of different options. This one we've put Velcro on, or hook and loop I should say. Velcro. Everyone knows what that one is, don't they? Or you could use your snap fasteners. I'm actually going to demo making one of these today, and I'm done a button and buttonhole. So you've got options as well. Okay. And then you can also make this fabulous little cushion as well, and you're getting the full circle pattern in there as well, which is great if you need a circle for something else. So remember, we had those smaller circles on the Shape Creator. Yeah. If you wanted to make a big quilt, you could have some big massive circles on like this, and then your smaller ones from your Shape Creator. So, you know, you could, you go wild, absolutely wild. And then the other one is the weekender bag. Oh, you can't tell how big it is from the picture. I know we do give the bag sizes on the front there, but I'm just going to lift this up because this is amazing.
That is so
look
useful.
at this. Absolutely fantastic. So you've got a zip fastening on there, and then you've got like a flat pocket on the front. Again, you don't have to put that on, so you could leave that off if you didn't want to have the pocket on there. We've got a snap fastener on here, but again, you could put a button and buttonhole, or the metal fasteners, or hook and loop on there. And then on the other side, which I love, we've got a separate zip panel. So let me just get hold of it in there. We've got that zip panel in there as well. So you've got that side section there, you know, to keep everything safe, and then you've got a lot of space inside of there as well. And if you're liking this fabric, you might want to watch later in the show as well, because we've got some on Save a Stitch.
Yes!
Love it. A big bundle as well. Absolutely. So let's have a look at what you get in, and let's make a lunch bag. Now, I fell in love with the tree fabric, Becky.
Yes, me too.
I had to go for that one.
What is it you love about it?
I think it's because it's the colours are quite muted.
Yeah.
And sometimes I like a bright fabric, like I've put it with a bright fabric today. I've put it with the coral from our Plains Threaders fabric, because it really makes this one shine through. Yeah, it really does. But I just love it, and it's a bit like, I want to say, like rustic looking.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I love it. Absolutely love it. So yes, I'm going to make it out of the tree. The tree fabric.
That tree fabric is the new one if you want it. It is limited stock.
So in your pattern pack, now you're getting this paper. This is really, it's heavier than photocopier paper, but I'm not really sure on what weight it is. But it is really, so it's not, so if you get like a tissue, they tear quite quickly, don't they, quite easily. This is going to last you a while. You get all your pieces on here, so you're going to cut all your pieces out that you need, relevant for your shape. And then the other accessory to get with this is the paper pattern spray. So if you've not used this before, I don't know if you've seen this one before, Becky. This is a spray in position paper pattern adhesive for fabric. And what happens is you spray it on the back of your paper and you just give it a couple of seconds to dry. So let me just get some fabric. So I need 2 of these so I can do it on one go. So I've got the lunch bag tab here. So it's telling me what I need to cut. And what you need to do is just I just need to give this a little shake, and I'll just spray it away from me. You just want to put just a thin spray on the back of it, and just give it a couple of seconds to dry. And you can see that there's something there. And when it dries, it just feels like there's something there, but it's not sticky once it's dried. Because what you do is position it where you want it on your fabric, and then you iron it.
Oh, okay.
And when you iron it, the heat activates the glue.
That's clever.
Are you ready? And it sticks.
That's brilliant. Look. Saves all your pinning.
It's not coming off.
That's fab.
It's not coming off. So you've got no pins at all.
Brilliant.
Brilliant. Now the good thing is, Becky, you peel it away. So it's a bit like one of those little sticky notes.
Yeah.
When you peel it away, that's not sticky. I can feel there's something on there, but it's not sticky. It's now gone cold. There's no sticky. So if I put it on, it's going to fall off. All right, I've only sprayed it once. Let's get my iron again.
And how hot's your iron for this?
Hot.
Right,
hot. I have everything on hot. Because I mainly use cotton.
Yes.
So usually I have everything on hot. Now, I've ironed that again. I didn't re-spray it. Look.
That's magic.
Sit on.
Yeah.
So now I've used these at least 10 times without re-spraying.
Wow.
I absolutely love the stuff. But it just reactivates. It just reactivates with the heat. But like I say, that's not sticky at all.
Yeah.
It's not sticking to me, but the heat activates it. So you're going to put all of that on and get all your pieces cut out. So once you've got everything cut out, I've got bits of fabric all. I've made a right mess behind here today. I'm in trouble. Now the other thing as well, just to quickly show you, in the booklet that you get, it tells you what you need. And full construction, again, step by step with photographs. You know how we like our photographs for each of these? And it's going to take you through everything of how to make it all. So we're going to hold your hand all the way through. But again, if ever you get stuck, you just drop us a message. Usually, Sew with Crafters Companion is probably your best bet. And we'll pick it up in there and we'll answer any queries. There was a lady who was asking me about sticking the wad into the fabric. and they weren't sure what to do, and I did say that when I have it back on I'll demo it, so I'll actually talk through that when I put it together. So this is the finished bag we're going to make. I'm going to make mine two-tone, and I'm going to use the leaf. There we go. So I've cut out my 2 panels.
Okay.
And then what I've done, because I was saying I've done a button and buttonhole on mine, I've put a little button on the front there. I've just re-stitched that back on. And then I've put some fusible fleece on the back. Now, if you were using wadding, which is totally up to you, what you're going to do is get your stick and spray. This is the temporary one. And you're going to spray this onto the wadding and then put the fabric on the top, and I like to give it just a light iron, not a heavy iron, just a light iron, and then that'll keep that temporarily in place while you stitch it. So that's if you put the wadding on. Okay.
Brilliant.
So we're going to have our 2 outer pieces, and then you're going to get the rest of it ready as well. So you're going to have make your straps. Now with your straps, you have a wide piece of fabric, and the instructions will tell you that you fold it in half, fold over 1/4 inch either side, and fold it together. And if I just open that, you can see there that I've got a seam on the side.
Yes.
There we go. And then I've just done a top stitch, which is a longer stitch, so about a 3 mil stitch length, just down both sides, and that's my handles ready.
Perfect.
And then also I've done the tab. So that tab was the one that I was ironing on. So you're going to do 2 of those. I've put a little bit of wadding or fleece inside of there.
Okay.
See, that's inside there. And then I've done a buttonhole on the machine just to have a buttonhole on mine, because I thought I'll do it different rather than the hook and loop. I can't even say it now. I want to say the other word. And then we've got the lining as well. Now, the next thing we're going to do is start stitching these together. So I'll show you how I've done it on the lining, and then I'm going to do it on the outside. So I cut the same pieces with the lining. These bottom squares here are what's called boxing your corners. So when you have like a flat bottom on it, and that's how you cut that square out of there. I've sewn down both sides. I've left a gap in the bottom for turning through, and then I bring these corners in. So when I come to do this one, you'll see how I've done that, and it gives the shape of it gives it a bag a bit more shape, because I think if you've got a bag that sort of just hangs down, you want it give it a little bit of structure, don't you?
Yeah, definitely.
I love this fabric. Right, so right sides together. Now you can pin or clip. I'm going to go gung-ho, and I'm not going to do anything. Naughty. I'm going to sew down both sides. I'm going to secure my stitches for top and bottom, and then I'm going to sew along the bottom, and again secure the stitches. You don't need to sew in these bits, because these are where you're going to bring it together and stitch it, so we'll see that in a moment. Okay. So I'm just going to stitch down here, just a 1/4 inch seam. When you're making something like this, it's not too definite if you don't quite get the 1/4 inch, as long as you're consistent through the whole project.
Yes.
So I'm just going to stitch all the way down, and I'm just using a 2.5 inch stitch length. If you find you've got a lot of wadding in there, you could lengthen that stitch a little bit. And what I like to do is I like to stitch down both sides first and then do the bottom. I don't know why. I don't know whether it helps it line up, and probably because I'm not pinning.
Yes.
If I'd pinned it, I probably could have gone all the way around. There we go. So I'm just going to stitch all the way. This is a really good one, a really quick make, this one. What you could do as well is actually cut the pattern out, but you could actually make it larger or smaller. Yes. So if you traced it onto some of the paper, because you don't want to cut it down, because then obviously you'll lose your original size, and you can resize it to make a larger or smaller one as well.
That's a great idea.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
And you could put a little pocket on the side. So this is sort of like your base, if you like, and then you can customise it, you know, however you want it.
That's
right,
great.
so I've stitched along the bottom there. Oh. Go. And then we're going to do these boxing of these corners.
Okay.
So, you see here that we've got that gap there that we left open. So what you're going to do, and again, we'll say you get this in the instructions, so don't worry that if you don't remember to, but you can obviously watch this back. That's the great thing about our shows, isn't it, Becky? You can watch them back. So what I'm looking at is the side seam here and the side seam on that other side, and you're basically just going to match them side seams up. And this is where, let me just get a couple of clips. And then I'm going to put a clip in that side and a clip in that side. And because the pattern is there for you, you haven't had to work it out yourself. As you line that up, that fabric is flush.
Well.
And you'll see that you'll get like an angle. And that's actually, it doesn't matter, but it is actually a 45-degree angle.
Great.
Where it's turned. And then all we're going to do is, again, a 1/4 inch seam all the way across there, securing the ends. So I'm going to stitch across there and then stitch across the other side. And see, it just gives a little bit of definition.
And don't forget, if you do want these clips, they're very handy, then you can grab them in the bundle, the Essential Tool Collection. They were in there if you want them. Oh, we have also got some by themselves if you fancy it. We'll pop them on the bottom of your screen now. These are in packs of 10.
I love a clip.
Yeah.
Have you got some clips, Becky? Have you, with you starting to sew?
I have not purchased any clips as of yet.
You need, it's like a game changer.
Yeah.
Once you start using them, you think, wow. But the problem is, you start using them for other things in the house because you want something to clip together. So then you need lots of them to do it. So there we go. So because we've got that there, if I now stand that up,
Perfect.
you can see now how that now is standing on its own.
Great.
There we go. So had we not squared that bottom off, that would have just gone, oh,
Yeah,
it would
collapsed.
have just been flat.
Yeah.
So you're given that. And obviously you want plenty room in there for your bait, for your sandwiches, and your drinks can and everything, and your biscuits and your fruit, because you have to have fruit. Well, you might take the fruit home, but... Right, so now we're going to start assembling. So we've got our outside done. We've got our lining done as well. We now want to look at putting the handles on. Right, so actually we'll put the tab on first. So because I've already put my button on, you'd put the button on after, but I've put it on before just for speed. So I know that I need to put my tab on the opposite side.
Yeah.
For that. So I'm just going to, I need to find the centre. And the quickest way to find the centre of something is if you have it laid flat like that, it's all dead squidgy, and you're just going to just do a little finger press like that. Yeah. Or you can mark it with a heat erasable pen. So I can see my centre line is there.
Perfect.
And then, which is my neater side? That side. Where's my centre? There's my centre. So I'm just going to centre that up on there like that. And I'm going to pop a couple of clips in. And then I'm just going to do my handles sort of even either side. We do give you sort of measurement ideas in the book. I'm just going to wing it as usual. Let me find some more clips. See, I'm looking for more clips. There we go. So I'm going to clip one on that side. And then just make sure you haven't twisted your handle. And you can make these longer if you want. You could make it quite long and make it like a crossbody. So like the bottle bag's quite a long strap.
Yeah.
So then if you've got, you could have it so your hands are free. So a top tip for putting the other side on, I can see that I know my handles are on this way. If I then bring in it this way, I can match it up. Can you see I'm lining it up with that one underneath?
Yes.
So I don't have to measure it.
That's good.
So it just, anything that I think, if it can save time, but you don't want to skip a vital step, if that makes sense. Because sometimes you can sort of do something and think, oh, well, yeah, that makes it easier. But actually, that step was quite important. There we go.
Hey, we've just had a message in, it's amazing, from Alison Jones about the pattern spray, saying it's brilliant. I made over 60 scrub hats and 100 ear savers at the start of the pandemic, and I didn't have to respray.
Brilliant. That's fantastic. So there you go. That just shows.
Oh, I need to get me some of that.
Yeah,
sure.
Oh, it's great. So all I'm doing here, I'm just basting these down. So what basting means is you put a longer stitch on the machine and just stitch quite close to the edge. So when we sew this together, it's going to be like 1/4 inch-ish seam. So I've done it about 1/8 of an inch. And what it means is that when we put the lining in, you're not going to have any of them clips in the way. So I'm just going to tack these down. I was going to be brave and do it without tacking it down, which you can, but I just thought I want it to be nice because I think this fabric definitely deserves to be well treated. It's beautiful. I know I say all the time when we get new fabric in, I love it, but this, anyone that knows me does know that I do like, I call it like Civil War colours. Right. So when you look at quilts and it's, the colours are like all colours and like washed out sort of colours. That's my bag. That's my bag. Bag. There we go. So I've got the handles on and I've got the tab in there ready. So now I want to turn that the right way. And we're going to put this inside the lining. Now you can see patterns where it may tell you to put it the other way.
Okay.
It doesn't matter which way, as long as you've got right sides together with your outside and your line. The reason I like to do it this way is because I like to have the hole on the outside to pull it all through.
Got you.
So I've got my lining inside out, and then my bag is going to go in here.
Perfect. And if you are new, when we say right side together, because this is something that scuppered me when I started, I thought, why is it never left side together?
Oh, yes.
it means the nice side of the fabric.
Yes,
together,
so some of our viewers may have heard, I know there's one particular lady who I watch on YouTube.
Yeah.
And she says pretty side
right.
facing instead of right side.
Got you.
So yeah, when I first watched that, I was like, oh yeah, that's actually, because it can be confusing.
Yeah, if you're brand new.
Yeah, because the thing is, whenever you're learning anything new, I don't know about you, Becky, but there's so many phrases that you're getting used to and abbreviations and everything, and sometimes it can be a little bit, let me say off-putting's maybe a little bit strong, but a little bit daunting.
Yeah. Agree with you there.
Yeah, a little bit daunting. So all I'm doing here, again, I'm using those clips. You need some clips, Becky.
I definitely do, because I really actually don't like pinning.
There we go. I hate pinning unless I have to.
So
there is a time though when I do say pins, because they do for certain jobs. Right, so I've got all that clip, so all I need to do now is sew all the way along the top. And the other thing is I'm going to do free arm on the sewing machine. So if most sewing machines let you do this, you take the front accessory panel off, and what it does, it gives you like a freeness under the machine here. So you can actually get your project underneath. So if I put this like this, you'll see what I mean. You'll see there that we've got it all the way underneath.
So it slides underneath the machine.
Yeah, so it's sort of going round the machine rather than have loads of stuff on the top here.
Yeah.
So you can't see. So I'm going to just whiz around here. And because we tacked those handles and the tab down, they're going to be not going to be moving anywhere.
Great.
Not going to be on the wonk, hopefully. There we go. And I normally do about 1/4 of an inch, but what I do is, once I've sewn it round, when I take it out, I'll check it. And if I can see any of my basting stitches, I'll just go around again a bit further down.
Oh, okay.
So you don't need to unpick. For something like this, I would just go around again a little bit further down.
Great. That's a good
rather
tip.
than unpick, yeah. I only unpick when I have to.
Oh, yeah. That's a time-consuming treat, isn't it?
Yeah. But it's part of sewing life.
Agreed.
There's a lady, Michaela, who used to come to my classes when I had my classes when we were at the store, and she used to say, it hasn't been a class if I haven't unpicked.
Oh.
Bless her. But she was great, absolutely great. There we go, so I've stitched all the way down, and then this is why I was saying I like to have the lining on the outside, because that gap is already there for me to turn it through.
Brill.
So I'm going to turn it all through there. And we need to stitch the hole up in the bottom, but I can do that later because I want to show you the finished result.
That's fabulous.
Isn't it amazing?
I love that.
And the thing with this as well, the one thing I like, well, let's get rid of that cotton. The one thing I like on here, because you've got that contrast colour, what you could do is, you could actually leave some overhanging at the top, and it looked like a faux binding.
Lovely.
As well. There we go. So if I put that over there and fasten my button.
That's great.
There we go.
I think
look at that. It looks fab, doesn't it?
Incredible.
Tracy will have her eye on this. I can see her hovering at the door. She's got her eye on it. She's nodding.
I absolutely love that. That is just incredible.
It's fab, isn't it? I love it.
It's fab. Oh, thank you so much for showing us that. And it's lovely to be able to see it, isn't it? If you are new, that is something that you could actually achieve, because you've got that demo and you've got the patterns. All you need is the right fabrics, and we'll bring those to you in a moment. So just to let you know, it's just this bag here that the wonderful Bernie's just made. You've also got the water bottle as well as the weekend bag. That is incredible. Oh, thank you so much for showing us that. I need to get my sewing machine out this instant, but I shan't, because I am going to show to you a quick recap on the wonderful fabrics that we're bringing to you. These fabrics are brand new. They are Dashwood Studios, and they are cotton. They are strong in their intensity, even though the colour palette themselves is beautifully muted. We have got some really on-trend homeware elements here as well, but of course you can use it for clothing, bags and more. We have got for you to start with the Dandelion. This one, very popular. We had half of the stock gone on last check, but that may well have fluttered down even further by now. This, just as a reminder, in case you are new, this fabric, perfect if you're new, it's great for beginners. It is something that you can buy in half meters, but also if you say bought 2 of these, so 2 half meters, it wouldn't come in 2 half meters, it would come in a full meter. Same if you were to buy 4 sets of this, it would come in a full 2 meter roll. So depending on what you want to make, it's perfect for that. We've got this one for you. This is lines that I'm bringing to you now. Do you see how these all work in together? It's great, isn't it? So this one is, it's got this wonderful pattern on, these little loops, if you will. Nice if you love a bit of colour matching. It's a beautiful one there. £7.49 for half a metre, $10.11. The colours in these, again, we're keeping this theme going. You know, it's not too dissimilar from if we do like a collection, say, you know, Vintage Diary collection, or if Hunky Dory do a collection, you know, how they all fit in nicely together. That's what we've got here. So mix and match these patterns and they will work together. This one here is your Leaves collection. If you are inspired by nature, you're in the right place with this one. And due to that random nature, it's a good one if you are new, because you don't have to worry about pattern matching. It's going to look great. Now, this one has been extremely popular, so much so that it is super duper limited. I'm going to fold this out just to give you a bit more of an idea of the impact that you're getting. Again, this is still folded numerous times, but look at that detail. I love the abstract nature of it. You've got these almost like sort of pointillism dots creating this texture. It's a beauty, great for unisex designs. That is available for you again, but it is limited stock, extremely limited. Now I'm going to bring to you the trees. This is the one that the wonderful Bernie's just done that bag with. These ones, lovely if you do want to fussy cut these out. Don't forget, although this is a show that is about soft craft, we use sewing machines quite a bit. Nothing stopping you hand cutting these out, fussy cutting them, and actually use them in your mixed media pieces. They'll be great. We have got that one for you. Again, the trees with all of those lovely designs, £7.49 or $10.99. This one is another limited one. I'm going to unfurl this one for you slightly because I really want you to appreciate the Memoration-esque design you've got on this, because it does continue. So if you look here at the top, it's going, you're following those birds round, and it has that wonderful feel, that motion to it. It's a really fabulous moving fabric. And I'm looking at this and as I say, you know, I adore sewing. I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, I want that to be a piece that moves. You know, whether that's a skirt, I think this would make an amazing skirt, or it's maybe even something, you know, like curtains, that type of thing. I think that would be lovely. We've also got for you the borders. This one is a limited stock. No surprise, because this is almost a storytelling fabric, as I would say. So what I mean by that is, if you look at the top, it starts off with these very delicate colours. The colours get a little bit more intense. You get the swallows that start to come in. They then start to fly in with your dandelion heads. Those dandelion heads then become bigger and bolder, which then ombres down in colour, created what, in all honesty, could just be put into a box frame, because I think it's so pretty, just as is. So that one's extremely popular, so it is extremely limited. If you do want to seize the moment sooner rather than later on that one. Final brand new one for you, which would go great with the one I've just brought, is the grey clouds. So it's a more of a grey muted background. If you're interested in fashion, and that's fashion of everything, you will know that the Pantone colour of the year, the Colour Institute, their colour of the year this year, one of them is called Ultimate Grey, and it's this kind of hue. The great thing about buying this now is that those Pantone colours generally become very popular a year or two after. So get crafting with them now, get selling them next year. Job's a good one. £7.49, $10.99. Don't forget though, this is Crafters TV, so if you are platinum or it's your first ever order, you get 20% off today. We've got some more treats for you today. I am actually about to show you some storage, and just before I forget, because I don't want to, don't forget, if you love Totally Tiffany, we've got Spend and Save on. It's the last day of it today. I'll talk to you more about that later. This is your storage template collection 4-piece set. You're going to be getting here a discount today of £16 or $18.82. You've also got a sewing workstation, and again, we will talk about these in more detail shortly. This is a lovely one for your giftables. If you do craft fairs, this is perfect not only to take with you but to also sell, because you know, it's all crafters need things like this. That one today at $33.96 and $39.98. And if you love the look of that and you're thinking, that sounds interesting, I like the idea of making something I can use but also make to sell, then let's head on over to Bernie. What do you love most about this set, please?
I love storage.
Yeah.
That's the key thing that any crafter needs and wants is storage. You can't have enough storage, and this set is really fantastic. And also they're very versatile, because you can make other things with them as well. Once you start looking at the shapes that you're getting, they come in a template form, which I'm going to take out the packet shortly, but I just want to show you the size of that caddy there. It's massive, and you've got pockets all the way around the outside. Now, what you could do is adapt it and put pockets on the inside as well. Ooh, so you can get loads of stuff in there. Now, when I've had this on the show before with Liam, who works here, twice he's been and filled it up with muffins. So I'm a bit disappointed that Liam's not in today, because that means we haven't got muffins in the caddy. But yeah, I forgot actually, I'd have brought something in, because I didn't bring any goodies in today for everyone. Nobody's mentioned anything yet, but I'm sure they noticed that I didn't bring goodies in.
Did notice, too polite to say.
Yeah, I've been a busy girl this week. And then the other thing that we get is that workstation one. This is amazing.
Oh, it's brilliant.
This is fantastic. What I should have done, I didn't bring my rotating mat with me, because I would have showed you how you actually put this in here. But what happens is your mat fits in here. So I've got my A2 one here, which is the wrong size for this one, but just to give you the effect of what it does is you put your mat of whatever size you want and position these little tabs in here, and then your mat actually stays in the workstation. So you've got your mat on one side, or you could make a ironing mat to fit in there.
Right.
And then in the rest of it, you've got pockets. So the wrong way. So you've got pocket space in here. You've got a little cute little pin cushion, a little case here. You've got this little hanging loop here for your pens.
Brilliant.
More pockets here. So what happens is when you hold it and put it all together and hold it up, if I put it down that way, you can see that it actually, it's your carry case. So
Yeah.
you're going to have it like that, open it up, and all of your equipment's in there.
Brilliant.
So it's absolutely great. And then the other one in the set is the sewing organizer. So this is in like a roll. So you've got your ribbon in there. And in this one, you've got, and I love this because this one you can really adapt, which is what I'm going to do today. But again, you've got pockets in here to put your pens in, your scissors in, your rotary cutter. You've got another pin cushion on there, and that poppers off as well. So you've got a popper on there, so you can take that off to your workstation. These I absolutely love. Pop-off zip pockets, how useful are they?
Brilliant.
So you can get all your cottons in there, your bobbins in there, you know, bits of fabric, your fabric scraps. You can put your scraps in there if you're at a workshop, and then you can go take them home. And then you've got extra spaces here for your pens and your scissors. And what you can do is actually put an extra panel in the middle and make it even longer. So if you've got lots of sewn stuff, which most of us have, to be fair,
Yes.
you can get loads in there and then tie it up with a lovely ribbon. And the other thing you get in this set is the binding tool. So as an extra, this binding tool is absolutely, yes, it's for finishing your joining your binding. So when you put your binding on your quilt, you're going to get to an end. I mean, I suppose you're not going to see on this with it being stitched down and it's dark. You always join your binding on an angle, because what that does is it dissipates the thickness of the fabric. So it's not too thick and it's easier to sew through. What this little tool is, and it gives you pictorial instructions on it of how to do that. But also I like this next to my machine, just because sometimes, you know, you just want to trim a little edge.
Yeah.
You don't need to measure something, you just want it. You just want to trim it. So this is really handy because it's acrylic ruler. You've got a little ruler here, and you've got a 1/4 inch mark and a 1/2 inch mark. So if you need to mark in from the corner, if your pattern's saying stop 1/4 from the edge,
Yeah.
you've got the little mark to do it. So that's
Brilliant.
a really handy tool to have in. So I'm going to look at this storage organizer today. So when you get in there, open the package up, you're going to have a number of templates inside, and on the templates, we can see them there. It's got written on which each piece is. And I've got on this one. So there's, remember we had them scissor pockets on here and the side panel of pockets. Now, in the instructions inside, it does tell you how to, which part is for which, and it's highlighted in red. Okay. So if you're not sure, have a look in your booklet and it'll tell you in there. To make the project that we've done, it tells you everything that you need to do that. And again, step by step, photos.
Brilliant.
Of how to do it. So again, we hold in your hand every step of the way. But what I thought I'd adapt this a little bit and use the new fabric. Yeah. I've got this. So you know, you were saying about the what you call it, I can't say it. Remuneration.
Oh,
what's it called?
Memoration.
That word.
Yes.
So Aycliffe, where we at,
Yeah.
is very well known for having one. Often there's a group on Facebook for Aycliffe residents and surrounding areas, and often people will put in there that they've seen the murmuration. Couldn't say that word, could I?
I didn't know that. Oh, that's so cool. I need to find that.
Yeah, so if I find the post, I'll tag you in it to show you. Yeah, it's fantastic. So I'm using that one with the birds on there. It's absolutely gorgeous. Now, what you're going to do on here is make your side panels, and I'm actually not going to have a centre panel on mine. I'm going to make it smaller, and I'm just going to use the side panels. So you can see here where I've already cut some out of my fabric here.
Yeah.
But what you're going to do is place it on your fabric, and with this one, because I want the side panel, you're going to trace all the way around your outside to draw your shape. If you were doing one of these pieces, you'd trace in all the grooves, and then once you've taken it away, so if I'll just show you on that, the black should show up on here. You trace all the way around it, and then you've got your cutting line to go around. Now, because you're on a curve, obviously I've already cut mine out, but I just want to show you, because the other thing we've got on the show is the A2 mat. Now, if you're cutting on a curve, if you haven't got a lot of space, leave the A2 mat folded so it's in A3 size. So this is really handy. You can still cut on it when it's folded. And when you've drawn your shape around, what you're going to do is you're going to get your rotary cutter, your 28 mils, great for this one, to go around the curve, but obviously you're not going to cut against the template. You're going to cut around. When you get so far, you can turn your mat.
Brilliant.
And you're cutting at a comfortable angle. Nice. You don't want to try and overstretch when you're cutting because you've got a sharp blade in there. So you always want to try and cut away from you when you can. But the mat's great because if you haven't got, and I don't think we've got any stock of the rotating mat because it was so popular, this one will actually move round as well.
Brilliant. So we do have that board with that rotary cutter on the show today. So
and
do shop.
Or the 45 mil as well. You can get it with the 45 mil if you prefer the bigger one. But that's a really good one. That I say you don't have to have it open. You can leave it folded.
Great.
So that's a good top tip.
Well
top
done.
tip from Bernie. Right, so you're going to cut your outside pieces. So I've cut 2 out of the birds. Sounds like a film, doesn't it, the bird?
Well, it is, isn't it?
Scary, that film.
It's a Alfred Hitchcock, isn't it?
A film or a movie. And then I've cut 2 out of the, this is the blue of the plains, Threaders Pains fabric.
Okay.
So I thought it really went well with the birds. It just makes the birds pop, doesn't it?
Yes.
Out of that. And then I've cut 2 of those like semicircles out of there. And then what I've done is I've folded them over to make the little pockets. So all I did here was, here's my semicircle of fabric. I just folded it over, give it a little press, laid it on top of the blue one. You can see there, I've just laid it on, and then I've just done 2 little stitch lines down here. So I've got pockets. I've made some little pockets, and then I've done the same on that side, and I got it so my birds will swirl a nice way as well. So that's going to be the inside of my toiletry roll or makeup roll, whatever you want to do. And then what I want to do is stitch these together. So I'm going to put right sides together. Now, I've used, obviously we use cream thread on here on the show because that's what we tend to have on the machine. If I was doing this properly at home, I would use a dark thread. Yes. Because you want to try and match-ish your thread if you can. And then I'm going to take that to the machine, and again, just a 1/4 inch seam just down the centre. And this is making the inside piece.
Perfect.
And then what I've done as well is I've cut another 2 pieces of the bird fabric and a piece of, I've put a piece of fusible fleece on the back. Again, you could put wadding on there using that same method with the stick and spray. Spray the wadding and then put the fabric over the top and give it a light press. Okay. So that's our centre bit there, and we've now got all of those pockets together. And then here's my back piece. Now, I have joined this. You could cut that template on the fold to get this oval piece. I see. That would make great placemat shapes, wouldn't it?
Oh, hey, great idea.
Wouldn't it? So you can see how you can start looking at the pieces and make you get different ideas from it. The reason why I didn't with this one is because I knew that I wanted to seam this one because I needed to secure those pockets. Right. And had I have done one with a seam and one without, it would have been too big. Okay. So that's why I've got the seam in there. And there we go. So then I'm going to put my ribbon on. So I'm going to get my ribbon. Now, because I want to wrap it round, I don't want to do it equal. So I don't know if everyone's ever come across this. You've put a ribbon on and you've done it directly in half. You've sewn this bit, and then when you go to wrap it round, one bit's a bit longer than the other. So all I've done is about 2/3. It'll probably, if that doesn't make sense, it'll make more sense when it's turned through. And then I'm just going to put that exactly just where that pocket is, and I'm just going to tack that down because I don't want that to move. Okay. So again, tack or baste, just a few stitches close to the edge. I'm losing my foot pedal under the table. So don't overstretch when you're sewing. I'll get it back a bit. There we go. There we go. That's it. So it's just tack that down. And then with these, do you know what I'm going to do, Becky? I'm just going to tuck them into one of my little pockets because I don't want to catch them in my seam. But if I tuck them in there out the way, they're not going to get caught. Get in.
Sue's just asked a quick question. Bernie, what type of marking pen do you use?
Oh, so I've got, I think we're out of stock of these as well. They go so quickly. I know they'll be on order. Our Threaders heat erasable pen.
Perfect.
So you can do
We'll double check.
chalk, a chalk marker if you haven't got any of those until they're back in stock. At a push, you could use a pencil because it's going to be in your seam, but I wouldn't use a pen because if you use a pen, that ink might transfer to somewhere else on your fabric. So I wouldn't use a pen, but a pencil would be fine because you're not gonna. It's going to be in your seam.
Yeah.
Again, I'm back with my clips. Becky, you need your clips.
I know, they are still available as part of that bundle if you want it.
I'm going to ask you every week now when we are. I don't know when we're not on again next because we've been spoiled at the minute 3 weeks in a row.
I know, it's not next weekend, I know that. But I do think we've got a lot together in July.
Have we? Oh,
I think so.
Exciting. Exciting. Right, so I've just clipped that. If you need to put more clips in, you can. And I'm going to sew all the way around, and I'm just going to leave a gap to turn it through. So I'll probably leave a gap here, well, maybe about 4 or 5 inches, but try and do it on the straight part.
Right.
It's easier to leave a gap on a straight part for sewing it together later on, rather than on a curve. Curves can be a bit of a pain to sew through.
Yeah.
So I'm going to leave it on the top edge because that's the edge that I haven't got my pockets. There we go. And again, I'm going to just do a little reverse to secure it, and I'm going to whiz round here, Becky.
Whilst you're whizzing around there, I want to say congratulations to Mo Crafts, who says, hello all, I've placed my first ever softer side order.
Yay, well done.
That's cool. Says, I feel like I stopped sewing after sewing so many masks. Time to enjoy creative sewing. Love this fabric. I've got the bag dye bundle and the templates as well.
Oh, you're going to love them.
Oh, congratulations to you. Yes, take some time to do creative sewing because it's such a wonderful, as I'm sure you know, it's such a wonderful medium. Michelle has said the ombre fabric would make an interesting background for multimedia projects.
Oh, yes, like on a canvas.
I think that's a
Like,
great idea.
oh.
Yeah.
That's it. Once you start looking at fabrics, I think fabric does give you inspiration.
I agree.
Doesn't it?
I
Because
agree.
It totally depends. I mean, that border panel. I mean, I was thinking if you've got like a small window at home and you made a pair of curtains with that, and then the matching cushions and accessories, oh,
Stunning.
be fab, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Right. So I've stitched all the way around there, super speedy, all the way around, left my gap.
Great.
Now, normally you would trim and cut into your curves, but I'm going to go for it because I'm on a mission today to get through all my demos. So I'm just turning it through. This is why you don't want to leave too small a hole, because if you leave it too small, you're going to really, really, really struggle to turn it through. So I'm just going to back all that out. And what I like to do is just run my finger around the curve, and you find then that just helps it neaten and sit well.
Yeah.
And then you see I've got my ribbon there that I did. Oh, did I catch it in at the bottom? No. I thought I did there. I thought, oh no, it's me saying I'll put it in there out the way, and then I've gone and caught it. And then I'm going to grab my iron and just give that a little bit of a press and press that seam in there. And then this one's finished as well, almost.
Oh my goodness!
I'm on a roll today.
We're going to have a vote for demo
We'll have
of the
vote
show,
for the
aren't
well,
we?
these two, yeah, because these two are
Brilliant.
definitely my finished ones, aren't they?
Yeah. Exciting.
Excellent. Right, so you make it as neat as you can where your curves are. And then I'm just going to give it a bit of a press. Now, you've got a couple of options here for how to close the gap. So you can either hand stitch it with a matching thread, or you can, I'm going to press the seam in. You could do a stitch very close all the way around the outside. Now, I think, and I don't say this very often, Becky, but I think I would hand stitch this.
Oh, right.
Because I'm thinking what thread I've got. Because I don't want to sew it in cream. So I might just pin it for now.
Okay, yeah.
And then if it does win, I'll stitch it up so it can be a finished project. So it's totally finished. But if I just pop a little pin in, and again, this is where a pin or a clip. In fact, it doesn't even need either at the minute, because that's it, is there? Right. So there we go. So what you do is you've got all your pockets to put everything in. You're going to pop everything in, fold it over, and then here where we've got the longer piece, the longer piece goes round once. When it gets to the top piece, look at that, it's the same size. I'm just going to neaten that little one up. There we go. And then you can tie that in a bow. Now, last but not least,
go on.
I'm not sure if we've got the fabric coat on the show.
I'm not sure.
I don't know if we've got fabric coat on.
I think we do.
So, if you've got your fabric coat, or if you haven't, you could use your fabric coat.
Right.
And what this does is it's waterproof gel. So you spread it onto your fabric.
Right.
Let it dry, do another layer, let it dry, do another layer, let it dry. Then put a cloth or a sheet over the top of it, iron it, and it becomes waterproof.
Hey, that's
so if you are using this as a toiletry bag,
brilliant.
You know, if you don't, say you're just going away overnight and you need your toothpaste, your toothbrush, your hairbrush, you know, your moisturiser or whatever, you've got plenty pockets in there to put something in, and then if that's got if it has been made waterproof, but otherwise it will go in the washer, but that's a great idea of putting the...
That's brilliant. Bernie, thank you
so there we go, we're done.
For showing us that. Okay, well, you've got 2 to vote on, haven't you? If you wanted to. So I just absolutely love that. Imagine that for, you know, hairdressers, for example. You know, for people who do hairdressing around their local area. It's wonderful. We have got, if you do want to grab that, it's the storage template collection. Remember, that's just one of the makes that you get within it. £33.96 or $39.98. We have got Save a Stitch now, which if you don't know what it is, oh, it's bargain central. It's coming up in about a minute and a half.
Welcome to Club Inspire, the crafters companion community where you can feed your crafty obsession. Join our fantastic loyalty club today and receive 20% off your first order. We'll also give you 250 points to help get you started. Other benefits of joining Club Inspire include exclusive special offers and discounts for Club Inspire members only, exclusive sneak peek previews of brand new product launches, and of course the Club Inspire community group on Facebook, where you can access exclusive content such as downloads, offers and inspiration, and of course you can chat and share your makes with other members. You'll receive 1 point for every £1, $1 or euro you spend, and the more points you receive, the more benefits you'll unlock. So what are you waiting for? Sign up, join the club and start rewarding yourself today.
We have got some real treats on Save a Stitch for you now. If you have just tuned in, where have you been? Oh, you're here for the bargains, and I like that about you. It's lovely to be here. My name's Becky, and we have got some fabulous treats coming our way in a moment or two. Let's start off by letting you know Save a Stitch is all about sometimes mixed media and sewing designs, or you can get a real bargain. We've got a lot coming up in this section, so we're going to dart through some of them now. We're going to start off with Applique accessories collection. Applique, that lovely layering technique, if you will, creating patterns and designs. This is the one for you. Oh, sorry, no, it's not. This is a binding tool that we've got for you. We will give you that applique in just a moment or two. If you do want a binding tool, again, we'll talk about that in a little bit. We are going to head on over to Bernie now because we've got votes, but also we've got a little bit of a different Save a Stitch, haven't we, Bernie?
We have. Now, I'm just excited because I've got these ready when we need to do them, Becky, for the vote.
Great.
Got them there.
So get voting. Product.
Yes.
The first one is the...
Is that going to be the bag?
Yeah. So vote number 1 if you want the bag to win demo of the show. which is this one, or number 2 for the one we've just done there. So get your votes in now. Okay, Bernie.
There we go. So yes, so the applique set that we've got today. Now, we haven't had this applique mat on for a long time. We've been waiting for it coming back in. I don't know if this got stuck on the Suez Canal, you know, when all them ships were caught, because all of a sudden it was like, the applique sheet's back in, we need to get it on. So what this is going to come to you in a box, in a roll. So you know, like if you've ordered our cork fabric before or our glitter fabric before, it comes in a box.
Yes.
So it's rolled up like that. And when you get it out, this is what it's going to look like.
Yeah.
So it looks a bit like brown paper, actually. Looks a bit like our free motion slider sheet as well. Looks a little bit like that. Mine is very well used. It's always, as you can tell, there's probably a bit that it's folded up, and it is constantly in my craft bag. I use it all the time. There's no tears in it, there's no gaps in it, there's, you know, there's no damage to it whatsoever, and it does get heavily used. Now, we call it applique sheet, so what it does, it's for one, it's protecting your iron when you're ironing something, if you've got any stickiness on the back. So it's going to protect your iron as well. It's also going to protect it getting that, if you get something onto your iron, you can then mark your fabric. And that may damage the fabric because you can't get that mark out. And if it's not something you're going to wash straight away, you're making a cushion for a gift and then you get this big black mark on it. So this is ideal for that because it's protecting your area. The other thing you get in the set is our low-tack paper for fabric. So it looks just like a pack of paper, but I've got one of the sheets out here. Now, on one side, I don't know how well, if I tilt this, so you can see that that's a matte side.
Yeah.
If I turn the other side, there we can see off the light, can you see how it's shiny? Okay, and what this is, again, it's a bit like the paper pattern spray in that when you apply heat, it'll stick to your fabric. So if I grab my ironing board, there we go, and I've just cut a little section off there, I've just cut a little triangle, and then I've just got a scrap of the fabric here, and I've put shiny side down, and then I'm going to get my iron, and you can press it from the paper side, or you can press it from the fabric side.
Great.
And again, there we go, look. Stuck on.
Yeah, perfect.
Stuck on. Now, there's a number of uses for these. What you could do is, if you do an applique, you could cut your applique shape out first on your paper. These will fit through a printer. Now, you've got instructions on the back of the pack. Always do a test piece first through your printer. It'll go through because it's an A4 size. The other thing that it's going to work on is English paper piecing. So I know if you do English paper piecing, you have your template that you put on the back of your fabric, and you'd wrap your fabric around and stick it or stitch it or whatever you wear. But that template might move. With this, that's not going to move anywhere until you just lightly peel it off, and it's not sticky.
No. Great.
And again, you can use it again and again.
Fab.
And then the other thing you can use it for is foundation paper piecing. Again, we give you full instructions on how to use that. You can make stencils from it. So if you're cutting out, so if you've got a die, you could die cut this. You know, if you die cut, say you've got a heart, die cut little hearts all the way over, you've got yourself a heart template.
Great.
A stencil that's A4
That's brilliant.
size. Obviously, I've chopped my triangle off there. And then lastly, the other thing in this set, it's a great price, this for the three lots. You're getting 10 sheets of fabric in there, you get your applique sheet, and then if you've got your little applique scissors, that you've got the little snips, and they're curved. And the other good thing what these are is if you've got an embroidery machine, these are perfect as well for cutting all your little snips off.
Brilliant.
And then when you put your mat on, again, that's going over the top. If you've got something sticky under there, just to show you the heat, that's a hot iron.
Yeah.
On there, it's not going to scorch the fabric, it's not scorching the mat, and it doesn't leave any marks on there as well. And if you do get sticky on here, just a little bit of soapy water, like wash it up with a little bit of detergent, a little bit of soapy water, and it just cleans off. In fact, if you get a little bit on, you can just scratch it off with your nail.
That's
if you get a little bit of glue on. Absolutely brilliant. So that's a really, really good set to have. We need a lot of tools, but sometimes there's extra things that you think, actually, there's multi-uses in there.
Yeah.
So with those 3 products, you're getting a lot, yeah.
So it's the multi-use versatility here that can give you a really nice professional finish and save you time and actually save you money. 30% discount for this one, as it is our Saver Stitch whilst you grab it today. Not only have we got that for you in Saver Stitch, have a little look at these. We have got for you some more goodies. We're bringing to you today a set that is the content that you are going to be getting. Actually, just whilst we were mentioning earlier on about the cork rolls, we have got cork rolls on today. It's the weekly deal. It ends tonight though, just so you know. We have also got for you the Dream Embroidery Kit collection. This is Dreamcatcher and Dream Big for you. Half price on those ones. Bargain! Also, I'm bringing to you your quilting, stenciling and quilting gloves. These are really important elements if you are doing your quilting. You're going to be getting 9 elements in total, and we have got $19.98 on that, or $27.90. Then we've got, this is one of our most favourite ones, Build-A-Block. Buy the Build-A-Block, get all of that wonderful fabric for free. 4-metre elements today on that one. If you do want to seize the moment, then you absolutely can. Let's go and have a little nosy at the Dreamcatcher collection with Bernie. I'm with you, my love. What are we up to?
Well, you know when I say I don't like hand stitching,
Aye.
don't mind a little bit of embroidery though. No, the little kit.
Oh, that's so lush.
So this one, it was a while ago when I started it, but I'm just doing a little bit now and again. But everything you see here, you're getting in the kit. So what you get is when you get your kit home.
Yeah.
So I've got I've got both of them here, but this is the Dream Big is the one that I've been doing. You're getting the hoop in there, which is great because I love my hoop art. You get the design that's pre-printed. You're getting all of the threads that are a little bit tidier than mine. So obviously I've been using mine. So you're getting all of the thread in there. You get the needle. So you don't even need to add a needle. And then you get the stitch guide, which I think is great because I've seen kits out there on you know, online and in the shops, where you might get the kit, but it doesn't actually give you any instructions on different stitches. And if this is new to you, you know, with this, you could actually do it all with a running stitch or a back stitch, but then it'll say, oh, make a chain stitch. How do I do that? We've got it here. French knots, blanket stitch, lazy daisy. Oh, there's more. Bullion knots, couch and stitch, split stitch, fly stitch, satin stitch, seed stitch. There's all of these here are on that one piece of paper that's so valuable that's in the packaging. So you can start and go for it, and you've got as well, you've got the colours on here that you can go for, but you actually get quite a lot of extra thread in
Brilliant.
here. So you can swap and change the colours as well if you want to do different colours. So yeah, so they are embroidery kits, and you're getting 2. So you're getting the Dream Big one and the Sweet Dreams, which I think is great. Because what you've got extra thread in there. You could actually put someone's name on here as well and personalise it.
Oh, that's nice.
Or embroider the panel,
Yeah.
use the panel in a cushion or on a bag, and use that hoop for something else for one of your other projects.
Brilliant.
So you've got that versatility as well. So yes, I think they're a great one to have, just for sit and relax and enjoy.
That's just wonderful.
Yeah.
So that is the Dreams Embroidery Kit. You're getting the Dreamcatcher and you're getting the Dream Big. Gorgeous gift, great for personalisation, and it is something that anyone can, you know, get involved with, even younger people. Obviously, you know, do keep your eye on them with the needle, but younger people love something like that. So do feel free to treat yourself. How do you feel about quilting? Because we've got quilting stencils now, haven't we?
We have, and gloves.
Yes.
Yeah, gloves. I keep saying that I should wash these, but I don't see, it just shows that they're well used.
Yeah.
My gloves are well used. I use them a lot. I don't just use them for quilting. I use them if I'm doing a big project. Like I was making some curtains a few months ago. They were really heavy, and I was struggling while I was sewing them on my machine. So I thought, hang on a minute, let's try my gloves. Put my gloves on, and it helped me grip it. And my hands weren't aching, and my wrists weren't aching as much.
Brilliant.
Because you were lifting a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
So the gloves are great. So I say not just for quilting in those. The guides, so I've got the medallion one here, and I've got the borders as well. I'll show you the medallion samples first, and then I'll quickly show you the borders. So in here, you're getting 4 pieces of all different designs. And these are fab because they are all different, if I can get them out. Now, I think one might be a little bit stuck in here because I think I used some paste on it. I'll soon find out if it's red. Yay, there we go. So I've used glitter paste as well. So you're not, normally with these, you think, well, you're going to mark through with a chalk pencil or heat erasable pen, or the mark away spray, which is like snow in a can, but it's like chalk in a can, and it marks the lines for you. But you're getting all of these different designs, and that's just in one packet. But then look at this cushion. So this has been traced through and then hand stitched, so it's a bit like sashiko, the Japanese stitching style.
Stunning.
Absolutely stunning.
Really
That's
nice.
just a plain piece of fabric
Great.
with a variegated thread on there, and then done on the machine. All the patterns made some lovely little coasters here.
Oh, they're fab.
And they're cute. So that's that one. And then the border one, again, you're getting, there's a lot of different ones. You get the sets, different sets in there. But this one, you can see where it's been done on the border, but it's also been done as a design in that square in there, and then in that one as well. And in here, I think, was it Trisha who made this one? She's left a heat erasable pen mark so you can see where she drew through the stencil and then she stitched it.
That's brilliant.
So yeah, so they're really handy to have as practical, because you need to have your layers sewn together, but you want to make them look as pretty as possible. And I think with these, you're getting a lot of options in that pack.
Agree.
And then you're getting those
Brilliant.
magic gloves as well.
Magic glove. So if you want to treat yourself to all of those goodies, it's a great way to get involved in your quilted. And don't forget as well, for mixed media pieces, this is $12.99 saving, or $14.95 off. So as well as that, I will just let you know we've had an update on some of these fabrics. If you do want them, extremely limited on some, so please do check out. But before that, let's talk about the Build a Block. This is your expansion pack, and you're getting for free 4 half-metre bundles of stunning fabric. This is a wonderful, wonderful treat, isn't it, Bernie?
It is. It's absolutely fantastic because, I mean, I love Build a Block. I absolutely love it. They're so easy, you don't have to think about it. We've done the measurements for you and everything. What I've done here, we've got the 1/4 square triangles. Now I'm just going to quickly cut some through using that fabric. I've got, I mean, you're getting 4 half-metres. The price is unbelievable because you're just not paying for the fabric, are you?
No, you're not.
I've got 2 of them here, which is the Ditzy Dashes, or the forest, is it floral forest enchanted? Yeah, floral.
Floral forest.
It's the floral one. But you don't have to choose because you get all 4 in there. So I'm just cutting this out now with a 1/4 square triangle. I just want to show you the difference, because if you've just started in patchwork, you might have heard half square triangle, 1/4 square triangles. What's the difference?
Yeah.
So I'm just going to quickly show you. I've actually cut through, I think, 10 layers there.
That's amazing.
You know, we usually say 6, but, you know, we're just going to go for it. What happens with a 1/4 square triangle is, when you put 4 together, it makes a square.
Great.
There we go. So I just want to show you the concept of why that is. When you finished a square, when you cut a square normally, all your edges aren't stretchy.
Yeah.
So they're not stretchy, so you'll have, can you see you haven't got any much give in there?
Yeah.
Because if you've got stretchy edges, your blocks might go a little bit wonky. With a 1/4 square triangle, the way you cut it is, these inner edges are your bias edges. So if I take that, can you see how stretchy that is? That one's really stretchy, but that end one isn't. You can see from me stretching it now how that's gone out of shape. So what you always want to do is, when you're stitching triangles together, you want to, or any shape together, you want to stitch bias to bias.
Great.
Straight to straight. So had I made another block and it went here, that's a straight edge, so that's a straight edge. That's a bias, so my shape there needs to be a bias. That's a bias, so that needs to be a bias.
Yeah, I get
so
you.
move them down. So always you start thinking about the way that your fabric behaves, and all cotton fabric will behave that way, but that's why they're called quarter square triangles. But the amount of designs, I mean, you can just go on forever with the amount of colours and just go on making. If you think about it, it's a quarter, so that means 4, something to do with 4. Oh, that's what it is, 4 to make a square. And then you start building your design up. And that's quarter square triangles.
Oh, that's fab. And of course you can create that with the treasures that are on your screen right now, even just for the builder bot. That's incredible. So do seize the moment on that one. Now we have had the winner for demo of the show, and it is bag number 1.
Yay!
So
I love it. I want to keep it though. This means Tracy can't have it neither. Sorry, Tracy.
So that's going for your demo of the show. We have got so much more to come for you. Oh boy. Coming up today, we are bringing to you, next up is the craft class. This is Create a Card, so it's a lot of inspiration, this show. It's going to be 3 p.m. UK time or 10 a.m. Eastern time. Set your alarm clock now. We've also got Second Chance Sunday. These are loads of elements that may well be new to you. You might not have seen them if you've missed them over the last couple of weeks. It's all about garden party and much more. 7 p.m. UK, 2 p.m. Eastern time. We have had a fabulous morning. Bernie, thank you so much for today. We will see Bernie shortly. For now, for you, we'll see you at 3 o'clock. Bye.